and welcome to Angie Davis Does It. I'm Angie, and here on my channel, I share with you all the things that I love to do, such as Dollar Tree DIYs, organization, home decor, art, baking, tons of things. And I try to do it all on a budget. So if those are things that you're interested in as well, please subscribe. And of course, hit that bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a video. So today I have an awesome Valentine's Day gift idea. I'll be making cookie bouquets with most of the items found at the Dollar Tree. This project turned out way better than I even thought it was going to, and I knew it was going to be good. So if you're interested, stick around and I'm going to show you just how I did it. These are the items that you are going to need to pick up from the Dollar Tree. We have the cookie mixes. I have peanut butter and sugar cookie. You're going to need a heart cookie cutter. If you don't have one already, they do have them at the Dollar Tree in a combination with a spatula right now. You're going to need disposable icing bags. If you can't find those, you can always use a Ziploc. You'll need skewers. These are the vanilla and cream cheese frosting flavors I was able to find at the Dollar Tree. They also have some sprinkles in pink and red. They don't have that many candy brands that are name brand for Valentine's Day. They do have kisses in these small bags. And then they have the Palmer Valentine hearts. I'm not a big fan of the Palmer chocolate, but these are heart-shaped, and I did get them for the peanut butter blossom cookies that I'm going to be making. You're also going to need a container for your bouquet. So these are just two options. This one has a wider opening, so the bouquet is going to fan out. Both of these do. So the bouquet will fan out like actual flowers. So these are the things that most people actually have in their home already. So if you don't have any of this when you're out, go ahead and pick this up. We have a mixing bowl and a spoon. You can obviously use a hand mixer as well. If you have one, you're going to need oil for your cookies, butter, a rolling pin. If you have one, if you don't, you can just roll it out with your hands, or you can use the side of a glass or a vase, and a cookie sheet to bake your cookies on. These are some optional items that you may want to have as well. I'm going to show you the things I did pick up at the Dollar Tree, which were the stickers. They were actually in the Crafter Square, not with the Valentine's items. The glitter tool was with the Valentine's items. These red and white paper straws, they were in the party section, I believe. Then I did pick up some dry foam. I might use that in the bottom of my vase to secure my bouquet. I did pick up some M&M's Cupid's Mix, hugs and kisses in the larger bags from Walmart. I also have some parchment paper here. You don't have to use parchment paper. You just have to grease your pan really well. I always use parchment paper when I bake. They do have it at the Dollar Tree. I also found my little baby heart cookie cutter, and I might make a few of those as well. So let's get started. So here we go, making the peanut butter cookie mix first. You can see I'm adding my oil and water, and it comes together into a dough very quickly. Then I am going to use a 1 tablespoon size measuring spoon to form my dough into uniform size dough balls. Roll them in my hands to make them nice and round, as you can see. And then I'm gonna stick them in the oven and bake them up. While the peanut butter was baking, I started my sugar cookie dough. Then the timer went off for the peanut butter cookies, so I went ahead and took them out, and they looked great. So any of you who have made peanut butter blossoms before know the drill here. You just place your chocolate in the middle of the cookies while they're still warm, and give them just a little bit of a press. I moved these over to my workspace so I could insert the skewers. And you're gonna wanna do this while they're still a little bit warm, and you're just gonna push them into the bottom of the cookie, and then as they cool, they will harden around that skewer and be pretty stable. Once that was done, I went back to my sugar cookie dough, and it was very, very soft. So I put it in the refrigerator for a little bit and came back to it, and as I'm showing you that it's still a little soft, I felt something strange in the dough and realized that it was a piece of the butter paper. So after having a good laugh at myself, I decided to take a minute and slow down. Okay, back at the sugar cookie dough. Still was pretty soft after it had sat in the refrigerator for a while, so as you see here, I decided to add 2 tablespoons of flour to just go ahead and firm it up a little bit, and that did the trick. So after that, I went ahead and took out some of my dough, and I kept the part that I wasn't working on at the moment in the refrigerator so it wouldn't continue to get soft. You're going to want to roll your dough out to about 1/4 of an inch thickness, and you can see it was a little bit sticky, but I didn't want to add any more flour, so I just worked with it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out my shapes and go ahead and transfer them onto the cookie sheet. Be sure and gather up your scraps, roll them up, and get them back into the fridge to stay cool. Once your cookies are baked, you're gonna wanna let them cool completely before you add any type of frosting. But while they are a little warm, I went ahead and added my skewers. I tried this 2 different ways. I tried putting them in after they baked, as you see here. I also baked some with the skewers inserted into the raw dough. Honestly, I didn't really prefer one over the other. If I did, it was probably actually sticking the skewer in after they were baked while they were still warm. But you do you. Figure out which way works best for you. Once all your cookies are baked, you're going to want to take your frosting and put it into a microwavable bowl, and I'm going to microwave it in about 30-second increments until I get the consistency that you see here, which is about the consistency of royal icing. So what I've kind of done here is created a faux royal icing. So it's going to go onto our cookies super smooth and then dry with that crust on it like a royal icing has. Here you'll see I'm going to place one of my piping bags into a cup. This is a fabulous way to have it hold open for you so you can put whatever you are piping into your piping bag. In this case, we're going to be using this cream cheese frosting. So you don't want to warm this frosting, just give it a good stir to soften it up a little bit and use it at room temperature. This stiffer frosting will be used to outline the cookies. The loose consistency of the pink frosting will be used to decorate the inside of the cookie, kind of filling in between the lines. Twist the top of your piping bag, and then you can just hold it in your hand or use a twist tie if you'd like. Snip the end of your piping bag and then test it out until you get the size line of frosting that you want. It was too skinny the first time, as you see, and the second time, and then the third time I got it to where I wanted it. Now just outline your cookie with your white frosting, and it goes a lot easier if you hold your piping bag a little above the cookie and kind of let the icing fall into place. You'll notice as I do each cookie, I get better, so just have a little patience with yourself and you'll get it. They say third time's a charm for a reason. Just look at that piping. Dang. So I should know better than to brag. As you can see here, my piping goes a little awry, so I decide to fix it. You can just scrape your frosting right off with a knife, clean it up with your finger, and re-pipe it.
Nobody's gonna know.
There you have it, good as new. Okay, now it's time to add our pink frosting to a piping bag. So do the same thing, put it in the cup and pour it in. It got a little bit cool and thick on me, so I'm gonna pop it back in the microwave for just a sec until it's back to the right consistency. And then we're ready to pour it into our piping bag and continue with our decorating. Now do the same thing with your piping bag. Twist up the top and snip off the end. I do recommend that you snip it with it pointing up so it doesn't run out on you. It is a lot looser than the white frosting. Now just fill inside the white frosting line with your pink frosting, kind of like you're coloring in a coloring book. Now you'll want to take a toothpick or one of your skewers or something and use it to smooth out the frosting. The most fun part of the project, definitely adding the sprinkles. If your frosting cools on you, carefully sit it in some hot water for a few seconds and it will warm it right back up and be ready to pipe again. Be careful not to get water in the top or the bottom of the bag. Little tip, make sure and use each of your sprinkles or sugars over its own plate because you're able to dump it right back in the container and use over and over. Really makes them last a lot longer. Another tip, cookie does not look perfect. Edges are a little burnt and not great, and you can tell that the cookie is splitting where I put the stick in. So I'm gonna decorate it for you and show you how you can still use an imperfect cookie. So to pretty up the peanut butter blossoms, I took a lighter with a torch feature. You could just use a regular lighter, and I melted the kiss enough that I was able to stick an M&M in the middle. Chocolate need a little cleaning up, and then since it was still warm, I could sprinkle it with some Valentine sprinkles. One last tip, if your cookie gets burnt on the back, you can take a microplane or zester and just remove that little layer of brown off the back, and no one will ever know that you burnt your cookie. And while editing makes everything look perfect and wonderful and clean, this is the reality. Okay, so it's pretty cold outside, but as you can see in the reflection behind me, the view is unbelievably romantic. So I thought that I would just come out here and enjoy it while I put together my cookie bouquet. gonna start with this scalloped container from the Dollar Tree. You can find it in the party section. And I've cut my floral foam to fit down in the container. And as you can see, I've left space all around the four sides, so my M&Ms will go down in there and disguise my floral foam. I'm going to use a piece of foil to cover my foam to disguise it, because, you know, we want it to look a little prettier than just a piece of floral foam in there. And it will also protect my M&Ms from getting floral foam on them. Okay, so there we go. And then we're gonna pour our M&Ms. Kind of give it a little zhuzh to make sure. So you can see the foil on this side, so I'm gonna just shove the M&Ms down there to cover it up. Pretty good. Okay. So the M&Ms, if you can see the foil through there a little bit, it's okay. It's silver. We can start creating our bouquet. So we should be able to just push the sticks around through the foil. I'm thinking that I want a heart in the center, of course. If you want varying height, you can trim your skewers. I'll put this funky little flower peanut blossom on this side. So I'm gonna cut my skewer a bit, go down about there, maybe do the match on the other side. A couple more blossoms in the back. Use my scissors to get the hole started. There we go. Looking pretty bouquet-ish to me. Go for one of these down here in the front. Cut the stick. That's pretty stinking cute. So now you have options. You can cover the rest of this with M&Ms, which I believe I'm gonna do. You could also throw any other Valentine candy in there. I'm going to go with M&Ms, see how that looks. I like it. For the very, very tip top, I'm going to put in the kisses. Actually, they're hugs. And it's a cookie bouquet. It did get dark on me and very cold, but I'm gonna show you the rest of these beautiful cookie bouquets inside. So this is the one that I finished outside. Absolutely adorable. And obviously it looks super cute as it is. You could give this as a gift, be done. But if you want it to be extra, I do have that tool. I just tied it into a very simple like shoelace bow. You can glue that on there and call that done as well. I happen to have one of these little gift tag bows that were super adorable, and I think that it would be super cute as well. So I'm gonna decide which one I want. You'll see the finished product with which one I go with. So I wanted to show you this one as well. This one took a little bit of zhuzhing. These kisses were a lot more difficult to get the straws into than the M&Ms were. But I just kind of put them in and kind of built it as I went, and it turned out great. I like the covered dowels a lot more than the bare dowels, but this one is super cute as well. I do have these stickers, which are super adorable, and I thought that this striped black and white and pink would make a super cute addition. Adorable. My last small option that I was going to show you guys was a little small glass. Well, I left it outside and it was very cold. When I brought it in, I set something inside of it. It broke very easily because it went from being freezing cold to warm, and I broke the glass. So I went looking to see what else I had, and I did have one of these red mugs, and so I thought that maybe I would show you another option. With this, I just put some tissue paper in, and then I kind of shoved the straws in, and if you hold the tissue paper while you're pushing the straw in, you can get the straw to kind of go through the tissue paper, and it gives it some support. And then you're just going to take your cookie, figure out, I'm going to need to cut about that much off the bottom. There you go. And you just build your bouquet. So I'm going to finish building this one and I will show you the finished products. Sun's going down quickly and it's going to be another beautiful sunset, I'm sure. I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope that you were inspired to make your own cookie bouquets. Obviously, you can find all of the ingredients that I used at Walmart or your local grocery store if you don't have access to a Dollar Tree. But it's always fun to share the items that you can find at the Dollar Tree. I hope that you have a wonderful Valentine's Day and that your day is filled with love and happiness. And I will see you next time.